Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade in the City.
City. I'm your girl Treese,
It's Nels.
and today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Reunion Part 2. So if you have not already, Shade Squad, and we love you guys because we see the numbers going up.
Yes,
Thank you.
we
Thank you. But if you have not already, please make sure that you hit the like button.
do. And that subscribe button.
And guys, yes, I just want to give a big thank you. All of our new viewers, if you haven't already subscribed, and all of our Shade Squad, thank you for the support. That's what we're talking about. But anyway, so get into Married at First Sight. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Part 2 was kind of but we're gonna try to make it, fun for y'all and make it enjoyable. But I do got some tea to give y'all. So let's just jump right into it and let's get shady.
Goodness. Oh God, you and this mic.
So now, headline news from Married at
Somebody tell her to get rid of this.
Olajuwon and Katina from season
Um,
are now getting a divorce. I think it's been about a year. Now, this is their statement. I'm going to put it up on the screen because I love you guys. After 1 year of marriage and careful thought and consideration, we have decided to part ways. However, this was not an easy decision to make. We leave our marriage with enormous love and respect for each other. We only ask that at this time, our privacy is respected. We went on a TV show to get married. That wasn't going to happen. Now, let me know what you guys think about this. I think that Olajuwon, as you know, we covered season 14, and I think he did a whole 360 on us, but maybe it was just a 180. Maybe it was just a usher and it was a U-turn, and it wasn't really, what we thought it was.
I know I initially did not think that they were gonna, well, she was gonna say yes. So it had shocked shit out of me, and it shocked shit out of me that they were together as long as they were. But I was surprised that after he saw himself on TV, he seemed like he made some changes. Although it seems like that's what happens to a lot of people when they see themselves being an ass
Right,
on
right. We've
camera.
said that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's really sad. Prayers up for, Olajuwon and Katina. I wish them both the best. And it seems like they're amicable, but
I pray you find somebody better, girl.
put your hands up, bend your knees, bounce around in a circle, get down with me. Come on, come on. It's not hard to learn. Come on, come on. It's called
I
the
think you
turn.
turn.
Guys, we open up with Justin and Alexis. They're still going at it. She's telling Justin to calm down. He says no, that she's been gaslighting him for too long and trying to manipulate the truth. Justin then calls her out for coming on to him after she came back from the club one night. Alexis says, "Use a lie.
She said that ain't happening.
That did not happen." And tells Justin
I did
he
not
acts like
have
she came
relations with
over
that
looking
man.
for some milk. Acted like she wanted to hop up on that dude, right up on that dude. That's not what she was doing. She was calling you as a friend.
Oh my gosh.
So
No,
that
because regardless, she said she didn't even come. Remember? She said she didn't even come over there. He said she's a compulsive liar and it's pissing me off.
when Kevin asked Alexis if it is true, she again says that never happened. He tries to get to the bottom of what's really going on between them. Justin says he believes she was never serious or ready to love. She said she was actually really there for love because she was not attracted to Justin at first.
That lady said she used everything in her toolbox.
everything.
She pulled out everything
Rich,
to be the best wife she could to him.
okay?
I said, damn, I don't know why. That was kind of strong.
And she think Justin is bad. They bad together. So she mentioned he was too soft for her, and she grew past that. She said she, again, as Nell said, pulled all the tools out the toolbox. And Kevin questions, well, didn't Alexis come to you and ask you for some physical attention? Notes, y'all.
You get like me, child.
So what happened was,
So you'd have thought you spoke it into you.
so what happened was Alexis was not into him, or that's what Justin felt. And so therefore he felt like
he said he was used to getting the energy reciprocated, and he didn't. That's not what he was getting. And he felt like, that his wife didn't really want him after the honeymoon, is what he's saying. Basically, look, I feel like after Justin just spilled the beans, okay, Alexis is like, look, there's no chance for us to be friends. Okay, after today, she's done. She's like, this nigga out here telling I fucked him, that I came and I showed up at his house after being drunk at the club. We ain't friends, nigga. You telling all my business.
So then Kevin brings out Alexis'
siblings,
Amber, and Justin's brother Darnell. Now, to weigh in on their relationship, Kevin asked Darnell if he felt Justin was ready for marriage. Darnell says he doesn't believe Justin was prepared for marriage. They bring up the clip of he and Justin getting into it at the bachelor party.
You know how he felt.
Right. And he says he knows he was hard on his brother, but he didn't want him going in head first and getting hurt. He says Justin is a lover and wants to love, and feels he wanted that a little too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much.
So Amber then says, from the beginning, she had reservations because Alexis is spicy and Justin is sensitive. But he was a little bit more hot-headed than she thought he was, or that he, the perception she got of him.
Right. Perceptions.
Exactly. Then Kevin brought up the dog incident. Oh my Jesus. This is not going anywhere. As long as there will be Justin and Alexis, there will be this dog incident. Okay. Kevin asked Justin.
Not Newton.
I know, poor baby Newton. Little baby, little cutie. Kevin asked Justin if giving up Maya was a sacrifice to save his marriage. And of course, as we know, Justin said yes. Now, apparently his brother was not impressed by this. He says Maya was a very important part of their family. And, she was never aggressive before. And, he says that he didn't think it was a good idea to get rid of Maya because he believes that he would grow to resent Alexis for the decision, which we saw he did. Okay. And Justin, basically, he says that that's part of the reason why, he got upset when things went south. I think the bigger picture is what he's saying was he already knew that even whether she was aggressive or not, him giving up Maya was going to make him resent Alexis, which it clearly did.
Right.
Alexis felt like he even resented Newton. Because Newton was there every day, he's feeding. Look, and look, just like Tree said, look, why are you leaving that man with your dog? Because he wasn't feeding the dog, wasn't giving the dog the medicine. Yeah.
Why are you leaving that man with your dog? It didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense.
He resented Newton and was abusing Newton. Okay. After Maya did. And she said
allegedly, we don't want to believe. We're not gonna say he was allegedly. We're not gonna put that on Justin because we ain't got no time for no lawsuit.
We going off of what Alexis said.
Okay.
But I mean, we see she don't tell.
The A word is serious. Okay.
Well, she says that she wasn't mad that it happened, but she was mad that she wasn't informed ahead of time because she would have handled things differently. And had she known that she was in 3 incidents prior, basically because he didn't share that. You know what I'm saying? She said she thought it was a little funny that he kept on holding Maya on a leash. He knew. Okay. Justin knew. Amber says that, him giving up Maya, that it showed that he was willing to work on his marriage because that's, his baby too. So she got it, she understands. Alexis kind of understands. That hole in his heart is filled again because he's got his baby back. Kevin asked Donnell where he thinks things went wrong in the relationship. Donnell says he believes Alexis felt like she had to handle Justin with too much care and that Alexis was too much for Justin at times. I think he was on to something. Amber agreed, and she said that they had surface similarities, but their main characteristics were different. Now, Justin says since the breakup, he has not been dating, just been trying to heal and be fixed. Kevin called him out for lying. And basically tells him that
questions if it could be fixed and if he would fix it. And Justin says
Alexis was willing to.
Yeah.
He said no. And basically, yeah, Kevin called his ass out for lying. And you know what? I'm right here with you, Kevin, because I think we all see it. Alexis see it. I know Alexis was like, nigga, please.
But Justin said that he believes they're at different stages. And he has learned about himself.
They are at two different stages.
About a lot about himself being with her. And Alexis
said that she moved. She got herself a loft apartment. She's painting and sculpting a lot. She's happy and she's blessed, not stressed. Okay. Alexis says that she's not dating
him. That's the thing that we're missing.
You said what?
It don't matter if Justin want her back. Alexis don't want him.
Exactly. Alexis says that, she's not dating, but since, she's been a runaway bride, basically everybody been checking for her. They're like,
everybody's
because basically, I guess they thought like she wasn't the marrying type. She didn't want to get married, and now they're like, oh, you want to be married? Let me come back around then. And she said her DMs is on fire. Okay. Kevin asked if they'll ever talk again in the future, and Justin says he's open to it, while Alexis tells him that he attacked her character and shit like that. So, he tells her it was not out of spite and he didn't mean to. And she let him know that it did hurt her feelings, but they can move past it. And she has no problems talking as friends. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Alexis is not one you can depend on. Okay, Justin. So Kevin sat down with all the ladies and asked who hangs out still.
Who are the closest friends?
Yeah. Kristen said that they all hang out and said, they even have a group chat that they're on almost every day.
Called the Sister Wives.
Each other a bunch of times since decision day. Alexis and Kristen said that they mainly trauma bond. All the ladies basically said that they trauma bond as well. There's a lot of trauma to bond over, being sister wives. Right. So the name of their group chat is Sister Wives, which let's not do that. Y'all are not the sister wives. Cut it out. Morgan said that the ladies kept her up with everything. So, she never really felt left out. Kevin asked Alexis how hard it was for her when she heard what was going on with Ben. Basically she says that she felt like it was her duty to tell Morgan. Like,
She says Morgan actually came to her.
I don't know why that makes a difference.
And said it wasn't that she just ran and told her. She said they were having a powwow and Morgan was.
She's giving Justin right now, and I mean it's Justin later in the episode. I didn't just tell her, hey Alexis, I just had her on speakerphone, and it was pillow talk. But I didn't say, hey Alexis, this is this nigga's business. Why does that matter? You still told.
Well, Morgan said that if Morgan was pouring her heart out. And she asked Alexis to please tell her if she knew anything. So she felt that she had to.
But you ain't have to tell the truth about sleeping with your husband now.
So Alexis said it was hard for her to watch their marriage fall apart. And at times she found herself blaming.
Child, she was in the background with some popcorn looking at that shit unfold. She was ready. This bitch throws a bomb, sits back with a bag of popcorn and waits for the explosion. Constantly.
She said it was the truth. And if the truth sets someone free, go ahead and free yourself.
Even the
Now,
shit,
she
I'm
said
not saying that she was
set
wrong.
someone
Not
free.
for this.
That's
But
what
even the
it
shit
is.
with Mitch and Kristen. I'm not saying she's wrong for that situation, but this bitch literally throws a bomb, sits back with her motherfucking popcorn, and waits for the fucking explosion. Are you not entertained?
Throws a rock and hides her hand.
No, it's an explosion, bitch.
Okay, well, that was
an explosion.
And Morgan says that she's grateful that Alexis came to her because Ben was never going to be truthful with her. So they talk about how cool they are till this day. Kevin turns to Kristen and talks about how she says she didn't want to be the man who was looking for somebody else, and says in many ways that happened. Now, but she fought through it. Now, Kristen says that she was married, so she kind of had no choice. And Kevin compliments her and says most people would have went the other way, and applauds how she handled things. Kristen says that she wanted to look back and not have any regrets.
She was so not giving Virgo energy. I don't know what the hell was wrong, what was going on.
She says she still has a few, but it's nothing with her not trying hard. Lindy tells her how proud she is of how she handled the situation. She says that she's a strong person and she had so much grace. And
I don't think it's a compliment getting a compliment from Lindsay.
And she had so much grace and was amazed by her. She looks up to her in so many different ways. Kevin asked Lindy if she was fed up with Mitch, and she admits that she was. Stacia says Mitch has been on her shit list since day one. Kevin asked Stacia, well, what did you really want to say to Mitch? She said everything she's wanted to say to him. She said every time she's greeted him, she's called him a bitch.
Period.
Now, Kevin asked Kristen how she felt about Stacia calling Mitch that. And she said there were times when she wanted to say it herself.
She felt supported.
So she could appreciate someone else doing it for her. She said that if it weren't for the ladies reassuring her from time to time that what Mitch was doing was not okay, she would have spiraled. They let her know it's okay to not be okay. And they all talk about how they refrained from going at Mitch because Kristen started the Team Mitch thing. So they wanted to be respectful. And Kristen thanks them for allowing her to get there in her own time. And they all say that they're all thrilled when they learn that she was choosing her damn self. They get into the James Allen promotion part of the show. Sasha talks about getting into selecting her ring in the beginning and how Nate designed it to be the exact same, and she feels it's a symbol of their love. And I guess hats off to James Allen. You ain't paying us, you paying him. So that's all we're gonna spend on that. Kevin jumps over to Lindy and her issues with Miguel during and after the retreat. Lindy says that was rock bottom for her after watching the footage. She says she was at a breaking point and she feels that it's bad, but that's how she felt. She said she was wrong. He was never controlling her.
I did you wrong. You did me wrong.
No, because she said he didn't do her wrong. That's not what she said. She said, I take it back. Kevin asked Lindy if there was any point in the couple's retreat she was done. She said she might have been done with the retreat, but she was never done with Miguel. She says she feels the issues they had made them come out a million times stronger after the retreat because they understood each other. You know what, y'all? I'm sorry. My mic knocked over. Y'all, I'm reading this wrong. It's not Miguel. Lindy likes toxic relationships.
Where have you been? I said this numerous times.
And that Lindy likes toxic, like as I'm reading through her response, she likes toxic relationships. That's why she doesn't see anything wrong.
Trees. That's why she was fighting so hard. She wants her relationship to be toxic. She wants the arguing. She wants the battle.
I just
That's the crying and the comfort. That's what she wants. I've said it so many. Where have you been?
I'm just now discovering she likes this shit.
She's literally said every relationship she's been in was toxic. That's what she wants for this one. And that's what Miguel was trying to avoid.
Wow. I'm mad it took me to the end to see it. She said she might have been done with the retreat, but obviously never with Miguel. She says she feels the issue that they have come out a million times stronger because because after the retreat, they understood each other. Kristen says she felt they needed some type of conflict because things were just a little too perfect. Then Kevin then jumps to Stasia and her concerns about Nate's spectrum of love. And I'll let Nels get into that.
Yes. And of course, they show the clips of Nate saying that she's a 4 out of 10. And Kevin asked the ladies how they would have felt receiving that news. Alexis said that,
that
she usually says C's, get degrees, and she's like, but a 40 is failing. Like, what the fuck? And, Stasha said, like, she just couldn't believe it. She was just like me? A 4? The fuck is you saying? Like, what do you
I passed all the tests.
Right. Period. I make how much a year? I'm a bad bitch. Like, I don't need you for shit. Like, I'm emotionally intelligent. Sir.
What you're not gonna do is give me
a 4, nigga. A 4, nigga.
He's like, that's 40 out of 100. That's still not good, bro.
Yeah, you're right. When she said it, she was like, yeah, I know.
Nate, and look, Nate, what do you do? Trading? Especially with my stocks, bro.
He just want to make it sound good. He's not the best salesperson, clearly.
Oh, he out here trying to be the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm like,
no, he was actually successful. Okay.
And look.
I mean, he was at one point
successful being a scammer, not ever being successful.
What do you mean?
He was never successful in stocks. He was only successful at being a scammer.
Who gives a shit? He was still successful.
Oh, okay. Like he never sold stocks to anybody. He just took their money.
But Sasha explains that she was mainly scared because we know he was in a relationship for 2 years and he said he didn't love the girl and she did not want them to be them. Want that to be them. She did clarify later on, basically, like, she didn't want to be in a loveless marriage.
Yeah, right.
Alexis says it was beautiful to watch their progression and the way Sasha elevated him. I said, ooh,
let me upgrade you.
Right? Get that girl to pro. Kevin then brings up when Kristen had Sasha watch Luna. And it was a struggle bus for this child, okay? So they show some unseen footage. And Stasha said, thank God, she was married because her boo did 90% of the work. Okay. And it made her feel like maybe, they could get a dog like next year, with the pulling of the skin and the cleaning the wrinkle and the dog bath. Sasha was not here for it. And this is why I understand where Nate is coming from. Like, boo, how you gonna have a kid? Like, they might need to babysit a newborn for like a good 2 weeks. They move on to Alexis and Justin. You said what?
Alexis and Justin.
Yes. And their time at dinner when Alexis basically didn't feel the need to share. I'm sure we all remember this because he was up in arms about it.
He kept pushing Alexis.
And the lady said that they were uncomfortable because they just didn't know what to say or whether they should step in. Alexis says in the relationship, she didn't feel like they had the dynamics of a husband and wife relationship. She felt like she was more maternal. I said, oh, yo, she be saying some shit.
But be saying passive. She's passive aggressive. Instead of saying, nigga, I felt like I'm your mama.
Right.
She found it a way
maternal. I said, yo. And, you know, she said that she felt like her boundaries weren't respected in that moment because, you know, she didn't want to talk. She didn't want to talk about it. And he just kept on pressing it. Kevin asked the ladies how they feel about an emotional man. Morgan says her opinions about Justin. She has her own opinions about Justin, which gives me the vibe that she is really not feeling Justin. And, you know, she really doesn't understand how Alexis did it. She doesn't believe she'll be able to handle like an overly emotional man. Stasha says that she just felt like he was emotional and unstable, but you know, she wasn't worried at all for Alexis because, you know, she felt like she had it. She know how to handle herself and she knows what she needs. She said being that sensitive, um, like him being that sensitive kind of depleted her attraction level for him. And I can understand that. And you know what? She says that it was very draining. She felt like she was emotionally regulating for the both of them daily. Whew.
That's not fun. I
At
feel
all.
drained just hearing that. So Kevin sits down with the men. He asks if they still hang out, and Justin responds, "Some of us." The
Apparently, he
four
was talking about everybody excluding Nate.
eight. He points out that the four men hang out, which is awkward because clearly Nate is not involved, as Chanel pointed
Right?
out.
That was fucked up.
Right. Kevin moves on. Then he asks if Ben and
I'm like, I ain't even touching this. I ain't even touching this.
So he asked if Ben and Justin are still cool. Ben says they are and that he did apologize to him. Justin admits he does feel bad. His pillow talk with his wife got Ben in trouble. Kevin calls him out and says, "No, no, no, but you also had him on speakerphone, motherfucker." And he says that he didn't think anything of it because Ben is like a little brother to him and he wanted to do anything to try to help save his marriage, not realizing his wife was going to drop a dime on him. It's so funny because the same thing that Morgan is looking at her husband for, I think you need to be looking at your wife. She's dropping dimes. Just saying. Now,
Don't tell her you buried a body somewhere.
so now Miguel says they've been good friends since the beginning, and like most friendships, you go through things. Kevin then adds he feels that if Ben and Morgan had have done the deed sooner, it might have helped them fight for their marriage. Basically, they would have did the honky tonky,
Not the honky tonky.
the hunching. They would have been okay.
Jesus Christ.
So, the guys joke maybe it would have lasted a bit longer, or maybe she would have forgiven him sooner, but they still weren't meant to be. They talk about the bachelor party and Nate with the stripper. Nate says all the other guys were super relaxed and he was trying to turn up. He's getting married. They asked how Sasha felt after seeing it. He said she didn't feel no type of way because he got real free.
He like, because if she did, she would have told me.
Right.
Because she don't play.
She wanted him to have fun, and we all know Stasha break him down and bust it open in the bedroom. She ain't worried about it.
On top of that, I understand it's your husband that you're about to marry, but really you don't feel no type of way towards this man yet. So I mean, you might be like, fuck, nigga, really right before your wedding night, but it's not gonna like kill you.
Right.
You ain't got no ties to this nigga yet.
Right. Yeah, because you don't know him. It's not
Exactly.
like a relationship before, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So he asked the guys if they have any misconceptions of Nate. Miguel says for him, Nate came across reserved and he's always saying the right things at the right time, almost to the point it made him a little jealous.
He thought it was curated.
He felt his responses to things were, as Nell said,
Mm-hmm.
And so he questioned his agenda about after getting to know him that died quickly. Now, Nate says that a part of that comes from him not opening up all the way. He says that his focus was Stasha. He wasn't there to make friends, and says if he was surface with them, he apologizes. He was trying to stay focused on his prize. True Pisces. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm sorry.
You know what's crazy? I was looking at something else today, and it was Papoose and Remy Ma, right? Something made me want to look up what sign Papoose is.
He's a Pisces, isn't he?
He's a Pisces.
He's emotion. You know what's so funny?
Knocked the shit out of me.
It was so funny. I seen a girl, we was in CVS and she was picking a prescription. You know, they asked you their birth date. And she was like 03, da da da, whatever. And I was like, okay, Pisces. Okay. And she was like, are you emotional too? And I was like, yes, girl. And I was like, girl, I was about to cry over this Ed Sheeran song that was playing on the speaker. I was like, absolutely.
Then basically he brings up the fact that Justin is sensitive and he puts his emotions on display. Justin says, you know, that's who he is and he's not ashamed, while Nate is laughing as they're playing their clips of him breaking down. What'd you say?
Don't need a man that'll give you honey. You need a man with
so basically Justin says that he feels like more men should cry, while Miguel says that, you know, he doesn't see it as an issue.
Mitch co-signs and says he
wishes that he cried more and felt comfortable crying because it would be an emotional release and you know, it would probably make him a better person. Nate says it's weird. Justin tells him this is exactly why your wife says
you to open up.
You need to get in tune with your emotions, and you know, basically tells him that, you know, you can take some note. That sounds like some short man syndrome. I said, okay, Justin.
And Nate
is just like, you cry too much. You just cry too much. So no, honey, no. He ate. Okay, Justin ate with that one. Basically, when he threw your wife in the mix, this is what your wife was talking about. Maybe you need to get in. Maybe you need to take some notes. He ate. Sorry, Nate. Next, he brings out Dr. Pepper and Pascal. Now, Dr. Pepper says that she thinks if they had some great people.
Talk about Kevin gave them a 2.5 for this season. He said he gave.
She always get into all this expert shit. Go on, Michelle.
For the Lindy and Miguel, and the who's Stasha, Nate, and half for Alexis and Justin, which I think when the only reason I'm highlighting that because it'll go back to our bets.
And we did half.
And bitch, we're not experts, but I think we was right. But go ahead.
So Dr. Pepper says that she thinks that they had some great people that really tried. And they really do feel bad about, you know, the early train wreck. But, you know, she feels that vast majority of the couples, you know, they really put their heart into it. So Pascal said everyone had so much hope and was open, but you could never prepare anyone for this type of process. He then brings out Mitch and Ben to join them. Dr. Pepper asks what they've learned from the process. Mitch says that he has a nice laundry list of things that he's learned. And of course, the things that happened in the beginning, you know, he felt like should have never happened, basically. And that he should have really watched previous seasons to, you know, how did you even know about the show, sir? I'm confused. You definitely should have watched previous seasons.
Shocked that Mitch has shoes.
What?
Mitch has shoes on.
Does he never have on shoes?
No, Dr. Pepper was like, "Oh, you got on shoes." She was so shocked that Mitch.
He normally record with no shoes on.
Dirty feet. They didn't get it from nowhere. Dirty feet. He want a bitch with dirty feet. She said it, and she said it multiple times. It's so good to see you with shoes on. Oh, you have shoes on. That made him like a gentleman all of a sudden.
Oh no, I missed all that. Yeah. He says that had he been able to do it all over again, he would have, you know, played it differently and not said anything about attraction. They tell Ben that he has no problem at all, you know, admitting his wrongs, and it's a great quality to have, but you have to be careful that you're not losing yourself or your own personal confidence. And says, he says that he's working on his perfectionism, putting that on someone else. And that's why when people ask him if he's dating someone, his answer is no, because he's working on his motherfucking self. Pastor Cal tells Mitch that he doesn't feel that, apparently, Mitch says, he's an outcast because he's different, he's weird. Pastor Cal tells him that he doesn't feel like he was an outcast, and give his self permission to be normal. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. And then next, they invited out Kristen and Morgan and asked how they felt. Kristen says that she feels good and feels like she's learned a lot. Basically, and it was really unique to be in a marriage and not turn away at the first sign of conflict.
Right.
She says that she learned to speak up more, and that to avoid conflict sometimes creates more conflict. Morgan says something that she's been working on in therapy is reactivity, and not to be so reactive to her emotions. Yes, child. Yes. Pascal tells her on, I don't know what, tells Kristen, that's probably what that's supposed to say. Pascal tells Kristen that he thought that they were going to stay together, and they left holding hands and asked if they kissed in the car. He saw that. And she's like, yes, I know we were holding hands. Yes, we kissed. I know it was confusing. And he asked what's going on with her and Mitch right now. Like, I mean, because y'all was giving mixed emotions. Okay. And she says that it's been good to see him, but they hadn't seen each other since decision day. She says it was hard for her to watch the wedding day because she thought it was such a great day, and then watching him in his solo moments and how he spoke about her and her family, basically that day she didn't see any of that.
Right.
He's a good actor, girl. He's a good actor. Pastor Kyle said that he felt more like a dad with the things that Mitch was saying. He wants to protect her. He felt bad for her. And tells her that, they feel the issue was he just didn't get his imaginary person that, he had in mind.
Right.
Now, had she came out barefoot, tousled hair, and a burlap sack, basically it might have worked out. And she agrees, yeah, but that's just not who she was. They asked Morgan, does she think that she could have given more grace? And she says that she doesn't think so. This wasn't just a couple of times. Like, basically, it was like a daily thing. So Dr. Pepper says that she understands that she felt betrayed, but, she would have hoped that she would have been able to, visualize that this is a very, they're under a very strange circumstance, and some people, can't handle that shit. And said that, basically love would have helped her overcome in this situation. And she hopes that, she learned from this shit and she'll be able to find her forever man.
So they bring out Alexis and Justin to try to salvage their marriage. Pascal said he doesn't see the cause of the breakup because Justin doesn't want to break up. Alexis says Justin is good for someone, just not for her.
She like, I just didn't want this nigga to begin with. Now,
And he doesn't think that they're compatible. Now, Dr. Pepper asked why she feels that way. And at first she believed it was balance. But she says it's conflicting because Justin is so emotional and wears his heart on his sleeve. She feels it's hard because she has to jump into maternal instinct, and he needs so much goddamn nurturing. Right? She knows.
I can see how that's super annoying.
Right.
And you're a big motherfucker too. You're a big ass crybaby. Hell no. Right. Hell no.
She knows it's bothered him as well when she would laugh and joke. She said it's taking away from who they are as people. Right? So Alexis then says, Justin went as far as to ask her not to tell jokes anymore. Look, let me tell you that would never work in my relationship. I'm a sarcastic ass joker.
Yes, she is.
So
to the point it comes off passive aggressive.
Right. So Justin admits he did to an extent, and he says when it came to him, she feels they weren't normal with each other. Pastor Cal tries to explain that people do change when they get married, and you have to stay together long enough to see the better. She tells Pastor Cal she thinks they're better friends, basically. And he says they are, but sometimes the truth hurts. So Kevin asked Justin on the last night when she apologized, why didn't Justin fight to save his marriage? And Justin says because he wasn't honest with her about giving his dog away, which we all knew for this whole season. Thank you, Justin, for solidifying what we thought. Now, Dr. Pepper hints to knowing that was an issue and says she brought up trust, but it was really him trusting her. Profound. Kevin asked Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal their expert opinion. Dr. Pepper believes Alexis was looking for someone more alpha male. Pastor Cal says Justin is emotional and Alexis is emotionally intense. And basically, so they almost vomited on each other.
Yeah, did he say that? Did he say almost vomited on each other?
And he said, and that's too much to take when you don't have a foundation. And when they started, it became too much and they quit. So he tells Alexis quit, and Justin allowed it, which is true. They both agree. They believe they can work it out. And
I think he thought they was gonna kiss and make up the next day. Honestly, like they had been doing.
Kevin asked after they exit the stage if there's any hope for them to. They believe there is, but Justin has to do a full court press and go hard in the motherfucking paint.
Go hard in
the motherfucking paint. What'd you think? Hey.
Kevin invited the entire cast out, and they went over all the clips from the show. And of course, they show T-shirt gate. And he says he doesn't want, basically, Mitch says that he doesn't want to defend it, but he felt like he was being set up. And basically, he felt like it was bullshit. He didn't want to be put in that situation. Stasha and Nate, they kind of felt like that's bullshit. Mitch says that he also felt set up. But what I just say, Mitch? Oh, Mitch says basically it was more that it was triggering for him. And Kristen is just like, that's kind of what you do in a marriage. Like in a marriage, there's shit that you don't want to do, but you do it. Basically. And Miguel tells him in his defense, he also felt like it was a setup for something, but he also felt like Mitch overreacted.
It took it too far, is what he said.
Exactly. And Mitch agreed, that he did overreact. Kevin asked Mitch if he saw the irony and of him basically.
Oh, this was amazing. I love when Kevin did this. Oh, so do you see the comparison of how you don't want nobody to tell you how you want to dress, but you wanted to tell Chris,
your wife, how to look?
Right.
And Mitch says that, he sees the analogy, but in his mind, it's a little bit different.
Of course.
Because he wouldn't buy her all those things that they're discussing, that he wanted her to look like. I don't know why the fuck that matters, whether you would buy it or not. Then Kevin asked Mitch how he felt about Stasha calling him a bitch.
And he said it hurt my feelings.
It hurt.
It hurt.
Stasha actually looked a little bit aggravated. She's just like,
if you want me to apologize, this is
right. She's like, okay, well, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings.
I apologize, bitch.
He accepted it, but he admits that he does sometimes act like a bitch. Okay. Kevin brings up Justin's discomfort with Alexis going to the club. Alexis says basically it was not just the club. Remember, this nigga didn't want her to go to brunch either. Okay. And, she says that she felt like she saw him every day and 2 hours a week was nothing. And Justin says that, he wants her to go out and have fun, but he felt like every weekend was just too much. Alexis says, like, sometimes she even invited him out. She even stayed home, played his whack-ass video games with him, too. They even built a fort. But she felt like life is fragile. She want to enjoy her fucking life. I said, hold up, bitch, we out here building forts?
F-R-E-E, fort, nigga free, and get it.
She had me at everything else. First of all, nigga, you better get that bitch her credit. She out here building forts with you, nigga. Y'all grown ass motherfuckers. She out here building forts. I could smack the shit out of you, Justin. You got this bitch in the house building forts, and you want to complain that this bitch going out. Miguel says that him and Lindy, basically they respect that about each other. They good with that. They like spending time with their friends. And he says that he feels it's healthy. And look, he says for them. For us. He's like, look, we ain't talking shit about y'all, but it's healthy for us. Sasha also says that, her and her boo spend time apart in their relationship. Justin says that his issue was that he couldn't tell if she really wanted him. And it would frustrate him because, he felt like she was avoiding him to go to the club. Alexis says that, had he eased up a little bit on this whole club situation, maybe it could have worked. Next, Kevin shows clips of Morgan and Ben's failing relationship and says that Ben blamed himself a lot. Now, what do you blame yourself for? What you gonna take responsibility for? She says that she's a reactive person, and she wished that she could have taken a step back and processed the information and came back and not overreacted about everything. Ben says basically Lindy was right. He was not ready for marriage, and
he fumbled multiple times.
Ladies admitted that basically they had Morgan's bag. The guys had Ben's bag. Justin says that he wants to make it clear that he wasn't just running to Alexis and telling her everything that was going on. It was more like pillow talk. And Kevin reminds him, nigga was on speakerphone, basically. And Justin admits that, yes, you are correct, but it wasn't malicious. And at the end of the day, Ben tells him, Ben basically told him to keep it between them two. And Alexis says in that moment, she didn't prioritize her commitment to her husband and not say anything, which she would have done differently. Ben then says at the end of the day, if he didn't go to Justin and like all those times, none of this would have happened. So really, he's taking full responsibility for it. Morgan says at the end of the day, they just don't mesh. And it's fine. Kevin brings up Stasha's mom gene kicking in when she found out Lindy and Miguel had sex. Stasha says that her radar went off because when she's talked to Lindy, basically, she said that she wanted to have an emotional connection first. And when Lindy said a couple days later that they had sex, she felt like there's no way that they built an emotional connection in that short period of time.
Right.
Lindy basically tells her, "Boo, I appreciate your thoughtfulness and your consideration, but I'm a grown ass woman. I make my own decisions, and I was ready for the D. Okay, so let's not step to me. The bullshit." Kevin brings up that everyone thought that Miguel and Lindy was the first to consummate their marriage, but in reality, it was actually Alexis and Justin. Justin said he ain't got no comment, and then later confirmed that yes, it was us. We was the first ones to do it. Alexis says that they had some fun.
That ever happened.
Alexis says that they had some fun, but they stopped for whatever reason, which she didn't say, and said, she found out that she intimidates her husband sexually and says, she had to put on some negligee and they worked it out properly and they consummated their marriage, not on the honeymoon. Kevin tells Alexis that he heard that Justin said some things about her that, she deemed untrue and asked what they are. Alexis said, "You got time?" Alexis said she didn't come on here, first of all, for clout. She was genuinely coming to, you know, for a marriage.
Right.
Also this whole sex thing. She says that, you know, she's never been ashamed about sex, and says it's really not important, but it is untrue. And says, so then Nate interjects and says,
Well, you told me something different. And he's like, bro, I don't want to hear
he was
from
like, Alexis is talking. Like, don't talk to me. Anything you got to say, I'm taking with a grain of salt. Don't talk to me. Okay.
you have animosity towards me. I'm not listening to anything you're saying.
Kevin says, from where he's sitting, he feels like Alexis did a lot to really make this work. And Justin is like, okay, and I didn't. It wasn't about you, homie. And basically, Kevin told him, if there's anything you want to apologize for, here is your opportunity. Justin apologizes for not taking her feelings into consideration and says that's something, you know, he's working on. Nate tells him he needs to work on the lies. And Justin's like, yo, why don't you just shut up? Like, I feel like Nate was just like, just picking at his ass. Kevin decides to switch gears and tell them that he wants to end on a happy note. So he shows the clips of the most outrageous laugh out moments. Okay.
We're not gonna go over that with y'all. We're not gonna do that. Let's have a great night. Let's sum up a season. And thank you guys for tuning in to another season of Married at First Sight. If you have not already, please make sure that you have hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And please make sure that you're following us on all the platforms. We see us
all
on
the platforms.
Have a good night.
Good night.